There are many who say that Donald Trump will be an all-powerful influence after he leaves the White House. The Republicans lost the House, the presidency, and the Senate on his watch, and to smart observers, in large measure not just while he was there, but rather because he was there. And yet, despite this, many still think he will continue to dominate Republican politics now and for years to come. In this regard, I have to say the more I look at his chart patterns, the more skeptical I become. You already saw my Trump in 2021 video, which outlines a series of transits that are anything from daunting to extremely difficult, but as it turns out, that is not all, not even close. In the video I just reposted from back in September, you can see that his progressions signal pretty strongly that he's going to be moving. The progressed moon points not just to potential residence change, but also to the unpleasant nature of it. But what about after that? What happens if we look deeper into the future? When looking at progressions, what a progressed planet is doing to the natal positions is most important. But the progressed chart itself can also send strong signals from time to time. Now, to get a better sense of his progressions, we first look back a little bit and notice that it was at age 69 that his progressed ascendant was at the same degrees as his progressed Jupiter. This was the period when he walked down the escalator and then catapulted himself to stratospheric fame or infamy, depending on your point of view. Then he gets into the presidency a little over a year later, with the progressed ascendant degree a bit forward from the progressed Jupiter, but still close enough to correlate with winning entry into such a big job. Here is where, if he had an astute astrologer in his orbit, I'll stop there before I continue to say that's about as likely as being hit by a comet, and I don't mean the astrologer, I mean that Trump would never employ such a person, or if he did, they wouldn't be astute, or if they were, he wouldn't listen. But anyway, in the imaginary world where such a thing could be possible, they would have told him that future trends didn't look nearly as promising. In fact, they looked downright threatening. You have to picture his progressed Jupiter moving slowly, day by day, equating to year by year, until around age 64, which is 2010, when it reached the exact trine to his natal sun. It was right around then, 2011 actually, when Trump started to falsely and malevolently troll Barack Obama with the birther conspiracy. He was feeling confident with that Jupiter trine, so he played the race card from the bottom of the deck, of course, but it worked because a few years later he was a contender for the presidency. By then, progressed Jupiter was a full degree past his natal sun trine, but now it was conjunct to progressed ascendant, which helped catapult him into the presidency. Now the astute astrologer would say, this is great, but your whole presidency, the progressed ascendant, not only moves away from that Jupiter, it's also squaring your 12th house Venus, which rules your career house. And at minimum, this is going to put a lot of pressure on you. And when you go for re-election in 2020, when you'll have to win, or you might go to jail instead, the ascendant degrees are way past the progressed Jupiter. So the big magic will be gone. And by then, that progressed Jupiter is starting to square natal Venus, which will become exact when you're 81 years old. Oh, and progressed Venus will be doing that square from age 79 to age 82. Now you might say, he's still 74. Why are you talking about his late 70s, since that's years away? Because that's how astrology trends tend to work. Trends are set up, and things happen according to such trends. His upcoming transit trends are anything from bad to brutal, and these progressions are pretty much likewise. Think of his Venus in his 12th house ruling his career. I've referred to it as a kind of index to his criminality, sitting in that 12th house all his life, but progressing slowly but surely into a square to itself at age 80. And Jupiter, the big dog, the one he always counts on to save him, inching along all his life until it reaches exact square to Venus at age 81, but already with an orb of influence when? Well, wouldn't you know it, in 2021, which is not good. Not good at all. And so, once again, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.